Hello everyone, welcome to another IELTS video. In today's video, we will do writing task 1 practice. You can watch and learn and use some techniques for your writing task.
So, I will be describing some IELTS writing task 1 vocabularies that you can use to describe some trends. For saying that graphs that are going up, you can use verbs such as increase, grow, escalate, or rise. And then you can also use the noun versions of the words. For example, an increase of or an increase in. You can also use a growth of. You can also use the escalation of. And you can also use a rise of. Now, some things that you should not use is that shot up or rocketed or boomed. These words over here are quite informal. Same with the noun versions of these words, like mushroom, snowball, proliferation. These words you should not use because they're quite informal. For words that you can use to describe graphs that are going down are such as these. You can use verbs like decreased, decline, fell, reduce, diminished, and you can also use the noun forms as well. For example, a decrease of, a decline of, a fall of, a reduction of. And there is no noun for diminished, so there is none for this one. And then some things to look out for is that you shouldn't use words like shrank or plummeted or died down. And same with their noun forms, depletion or slash. These are very informal again. For graphs that are parallel, this means that जो त्यो सेम ग्राफहरू छ नि सेम लाइनमा छ भने यो वर्ड्सहरू चाहिँ चलाउन सक्छ. So for example, the verbs, right? You can use stabilized, right? You can use both the British or English form, दुईटै हुन्छ S अथवा Z हैन. You can also use plate, remain steady, and remained stable. And you can also add the word relatively. Now for the noun words, you can use a stability, right? And for the last two words, they don't have a noun, so there isn't any. So now we've learned what words to use. I'm going to show you some examples of how you can write them. So in this screen here, we're going to use the word increase, right? So you have the subject first, and then you write the word like increased, and then you write the percentage of, and then to higher the other percentage between the year and year. So for example, you can maybe say the percentage of stocks increased from 10% to 20% between 2001 and 2005. You guys can say that. One example is the total sugar consumption increased from approximately 8 to almost 20 pounds per capita between 1970 and 1984. So this is the word increased from, हैन? अनि त्यसपछि त्यही त्यो percentage कति हो त्यही भन्ने हैन? And then between कति year? So like, you know, the number or percentage यही हुन्छ. त्यसपछि चाहिँ timeline हुन्छ यहाँ. And then another example चाहिँ यहाँ छ. Nepal's population increased from 40% to 50% between 1985 and 1995. So यही छ increased. अनि त्यसपछि कति percentage हैन? 40% to 50 छ नि त बढी भयो. Between 1985 and 1995. त्यो चाहिँ time लेख्ने लास्टमा. And this is another one. Increased by हैन? And then the percentage of the number राख्ने त्यसपछि time हैन? And then the example is Nepal's population increased by 10% between 1985 and 1995. So another word instead of saying increased is rose. Rose भनेको चाहिँ यो पनि like it's increased, right? So same example. The HFCS rose by around 20 pounds per capita between 1970 and 1984. Okay, so you say increase ko examples are right now. So now We can also use showed. For example, the total sugar consumption showed an increase from approximately 8 to 20 pounds per capita. This one is another example. Another one is Japan's population saw an increase of 5% between 1985 and 1995. Another one is there was a 5% increase in Japan's population between 1985 and 1995. Okay, now we're going to talk about decrease. यो भनेको चाहिँ तल जाने हैन, अघि चाहिँ माथि हो, यो चाहिँ तल. So one example is Nepal's population decreased from 50% to 40% between 1985 and 1995. So you guys get the gist, right? त्यही त्यो word भन्ने अनि त्यसपछि कति छ हैन नम्बर भन्ने लास्टमा चाहिँ timeline भन्ने. Last few examples. Nepal's population showed a decrease from 50% to 40% between 1985 and 1995. So yeah, these are the examples. अर्को पनि यही छ, यहाँ पनि यही हो. So this is how you can use some of these words into your writing.
Now it's time for us to talk about the trends when they go up and down. So as verbs, you can use the words fluctuated, varied, and differed. And for the noun forms of these verbs, you can use a fluctuation, a variation, and a difference of. Now let's take a look at some words to describe the intensity of trends. Let's take a look at verbs first. We have decreased, increased, escalated, fluctuated, rose, and fell. For adverbs, you can use drastically, sharply, substantially, considerably, markedly, slightly. Let's do a bar chart together. Here I have a bar chart in front of me, as you can see on your screen. So let's see where we can use the trends that we talked about earlier in this video. In the first paragraph, we have used the phrase remained relatively moderate to describe the trend of the bar chart. In the second paragraph, we have used a decline in the first 20 years. Then we have it further decreased to 50%, 15%. We also use the adverb conversely. Then we have less than 10% to show comparison. The next, in the same paragraph, we have rose by 13%, and then a sharp increase of 16% in the year 2000. So we've used all sorts of words here. Let's take a look at third paragraph. In the third paragraph, we have a fluctuation during this period. Next one is on the third line, we use fell again to 21%. In the next line, we also have figured reduced to 21% and later increased to 25%. We've also used erratic change to show a trend at the end. So these are some words you can use in your writing task 1 to describe a chart. So that's the end of today's video. I hope you learned something from today's video, and please use these words in your writing next time. We'll see you guys in our next video. Please don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and also comment if you have any suggestion or feedback for us.